Hi there, everybody. I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my overview planetary report for the month of March. Now, I'm so sorry about the February report. I actually did do it, but I moved. If you watched my video the other week, you'll know that I was in the process of moving it, made it onto my flash drive, but I thought I did, but it wasn't there. So anyway, then it got just simply too late to post it. So here we go for March. So apologies for that. So I'm calling this a month of intense romance, idealism, and the unexpected. Dream big. Now, I just want to say at this point that these planetary overview reports I write for my pages on New York Daily News, so nydailynews.com/horoscopes. I have a number of pages on their site, the daily horoscopes, of course, the weekly, the monthly, and a number of different articles. The article that's going up for this month for March is all about essences, so the healing properties of essences, and an interview I did with Joe Richkus at Enfilage in New York. Very, very interesting how you can use essential oils, at home yourself. So please go and have a read of that, because these people generously give their time to me so I can, gather information to give to you. Of course, I have a dog column on there as well, and all sorts of other materials. So anyway, so on with the March report. So I'm just going to cover a little bit of recap of February as well, because Mercury came out of its retrograde transit and the energy changed, so we could actually put our intentions into action. So the last week of February and the commencement of the first week of March, because the last week of February was we commencing February the 29th, which made it a leap year. So it went into the first week of March. So we finished with an interaction between Venus and Saturn. Now, this can cause a little bit of a pullback with love and relationships, but it also focuses attention on what you really want, because Saturn sort of is the grounding factor. And not just for now, but for long love longevity. So, it's a good mix. Now, Venus also governs money, so there's a cautious approach with finances with this combination. However, as both planets are in independent signs, then this certainly helps to offset and balance any feelings of procrastination. So Venus in Aquarius and Saturn, of course, for the next couple of years in Sagittarius. So, and then, as I said, the month closed as February the 29th, making it a leap year. Of course, traditionally, the leap year was when the girls could ask the boys to marry them, but, we're much, much more liberated now. So I think it's like anyone can ask anyone to marry them. Okay. All right, let's see what March has in store for us. Now, I read this report. If you've been watching watching them for a while, you know that. So most of my reports, I sort of ad-lib off my wheels and my plotting charts and forms, but this particular month's report, because I write it for New York Daily News, I actually read it. So persevere with me. Sometimes the written word is not the same as the spoken word. All right, so the week one, March the 1st. The month kicks off with Venus and Uranus in a favorable interaction on the 2nd, but Uranus can be very changeable and sudden, so anything can happen now. So don't lock in your schedule or your attitude too tightly. Be open to what comes next. It could be just what you need. Now, a square between Mercury and Mars on the 4th provides the trigger to start a conversation, but be assertive and not aggressive in your approach. Two planets change signs on the 6th. Mars to the fire sign Sagittarius, so the energy is heightened with motivation and enthusiasm. And Mercury, the planet of commerce and communication, will depart Aquarius, where the energy ignited an inquiry mind and meaningful discussions with friends and social interaction, and will move to the more sensitive sign of Pisces. In Pisces, the energy induces us to dream big and get in touch with our hopes, dreams, and wishes. Isn't that nice? Okay, now week 2, which is week commencing March the 7th, the new moon on March the 8th, a solar eclipse and a supermoon in the sign of watery Pisces. It's very intense and has the power to literally be life-changing. The supermoon gives it a stronger gravitational pull, and the total eclipse is the first eclipse for this year. Now, it's opposite Jupiter, which is Pisces' traditional ruler, which makes it a time where dreams really can come true. It's got like an added punch. Even though Jupiter is retrograde at the moment and in the sign of Virgo. So, one could say that it's weakened a little bit, but it's still a very magical quality, and it does help to ground it all, okay, rather than it being this nebulous sort of fanciful sort of thought and feeling out there in the universe. It brings it back and makes it more real. So I like it in that sense. Sometimes when an aspect is by itself, maybe it's not so good. When you put it in with everything else, it's like, yeah, it fits well. So, I like it. For this one, I like that very much. Now, Mercury and Neptune will meet up in Pisces on the 10th. And then when Venus also makes her move to the Pisces, which is a magical water sign, on the 12th, the scene really is set for love. But only if it's love that ignites at a heart and soul level, okay? So this is a good time to get in touch with your goals, what you want in the form of love and money, and to set your ideals and to set them high. You will eventually need to come back to earth and be somewhat realistic, but at the least when you are idealistic, you have a great starting point to come from, and from that point you can start to make your compromises and negotiations, and I talk about, if you've been following me for a while, I know that I talk about that quite a bit. I like to be idealistic because, I think that's a great, as I said, a great starting point. All right, so moving on to week 3, the week of commencing March the 14th. This week, abundant Jupiter makes a positive connection with powerful Pluto on the 16th. It's a great time to move forward with business projects that can provide a good financial return, okay? We like that. The Sun makes a move to Aries on Sunday the 20th. It signifies the first day of spring, the spring equinox, and it's a time when the day and night are equal. It's 2 days in the year, and the equinox, spring and the winter equinox are it. Of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the autumn or the fall equinox. On this same day, Venus and Neptune meet up, as they do once a year, and it will heighten romance, sensitivity, as well as idealism once again. However, there can also be a little bit of a cloud 9 effect with this, so you want to keep one foot firmly on the ground. But in this case, I feel Neptune gives you like the idealism, and Mercury helps to bring it back and put it into into thought form. And then we've got Mars sitting over there in Sagittarius, and that helps really with the Mars, the fire action of Mars and the fire sign helps to put things actually into action. So, once again, as I say, when you look at some of the aspects by themselves, they may not look too good. When you put it all together, it works out. It just sort of works. But of course, the problem with having too higher expectations is that, you can get disappointed, but I think it's better to do that. Start high and then start to compromise rather than starting low wherever you got to go. All right, moving on to week 4, which is the week of March the 21st. This is an action-packed week, all right? Mercury's on the move again on the 21st, this time to the fire sign of Aries, and we'll meet up with the Sun, which makes this a perfect time to fine-tune your inspiration, all the inspiration that you gained from the week before that we just spoke about, and get it down into actionable points, okay? Because that's what Aries Aries is about. It's about doing things. It's about action. It's about starting things off. But you don't want to be too rash. Think through your strategy with both discussions and actions before you move forward. Now, Jupiter will square Saturn on the 23rd, and as these energies are opposite, Jupiter is expansive and optimistic. Saturn is more cautious and pessimistic. It can like pull the energy back a bit, but it does keep it, in my mind, it keeps it real and it keeps it balanced. So once again, not too bad. We have another eclipse on the 23rd, a full moon, lunar eclipse this time. And the lunar eclipses, the full moons can trigger change or decisions and put some urgency, in getting things done and moving forward. So solid and secure Saturn is Sagittarian, will go retrograde on the 25th. And stays retrograde right through to mid-August. So it makes it a good time to get serious about your life goals and get some plans set in place, okay? Whenever a planet is retrograde, it's great for planning. And particularly Saturn helps you plan for the future and helps you get solid foundations down. So it's all good. Right, now the last week 5, which is March the 28th, as Mercury, the communication planet, interacts with Saturn on the 29th, also interacts with Pluto on the 30th, and Uranus on the 31st. During this week, anything can happen. So it's all around Mercury. So there's big communications going on in just about any area of life. Depending, you'll need to listen to the report for that week to see how it's going to impact your particular life. But you want to be aware of power struggles, and remember that communication is a two-way street, listening and talking. It's both part of communication. And sometimes you just have to play that chess game of life, wait till someone else, puts their, 2-bit in, and, then you can. You don't have to agree with others, but of course it is polite to listen, okay? You will be ready, you will need to be ready for surprises this week too. Something can come from left field, totally blindside you. So, it's hard to be ready for that. I mean, that's sort of like an opposite thing to say, isn't it? Be ready for surprises. So, but anyway, take life into stride. Play the chess game of life, as I said. Wait for others to show their hand first. Sometimes it's always a good idea. See how the land lies when the dust settles, okay? Try not to make too many judgments beforehand. So just to close, this certainly is an eventful month, and one where you can get inspired about your life, who you spend it with, set plans in place, get ready for action, and then just add in a spice of unexpected. And you just never know what happens. It certainly keeps things interesting. Now, that's my puppy dog Yogi in the background. So we've been going 30 minutes, so I guess it's a little bit to ask for a puppy dog to be quiet. I've actually been filming for a few hours, so he's been pretty good. Hope he wasn't too disturbing for you. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'm Jennifer Angel, and if you like this video, then I'd really appreciate it if you put it out there to your social networks. Thanks so much. Bye for now.